Thank you so much, Balozi, for the introduction, but also for taking on the challenge to train this army of officers who are going to take diplomacy to the next level. I'm sure as you have spoken over the last 40 years and you've painted that picture, diplomacy has changed a lot, and how countries do the business of diplomacy has changed significantly. In our experience here at the SDDA, diaspora diplomacy has taken, of course, center stage of diplomacy, and increasingly we are seeing how diaspora diplomacy is at the heart of how governments and states do business. There are many things about the diaspora that nobody will ever be able to teach you. You will be the experts in diaspora diplomacy. But there is a lot in the world of diplomacy for you to learn. I'm personally very proud of this team, Balozi. They have, as we have said, their training has been delayed, but with very little training, they came. Many of them found a brand spanking new department. They jumped in, and they were writing the book with me as we were going. We were making, a lot of it, we were making it up as we went. You know, Balozi, I am looking forward to seeing some of the things that you're able to do in this training. Because diplomacy, in many ways, has moved from cocktails, has moved from boardrooms, has moved from bilateral meetings to social media, isn't it? Yes. Some of you wake up, look at your phone before you have dressed, correct? If you're honest, yes? People wake up, go under the pillow, pick up their phone, they're on social media for a while before they do stuff. You are, in many ways, holding out who this country is. But you know, I stood before a group like this, I think it was a year or so ago, the last group that was being, I think there was a group of cadets that was being trained, or you know, some young people at the Foreign Service Academy. And one of the things that hit me as I was having the conversation, no, it wasn't a training. We were having a conversation among, I think it was the leadership of the Foreign Service Academy. But I found myself constantly addressing the second level, because that is where third secretaries were sitting. And I found that I have a lot of faith in upcoming young officers. Because the time of, as happens everywhere, the time of older professionals, we exit and we leave. But we need to be confident and comfortable that the army that is going to run Kenya's foreign policy for the next 20, 40 years, the person who will be standing here in 40 years to teach the next group of cadets has understood it, has understood the assignment. And I have no doubt that the people here will be able to do that. The reason I do this with every group of members of staff or diasporians that I speak with is because a lot of building institutions is about storytelling. Yeah? It's about the stories that we tell ourselves of who we are. We are creating together the story of the Kenyan diaspora, correct? And we are creating that story together as we say who the diaspora are, who we are in relation to them, and what we are doing about that. What is Kenya doing with its diaspora? Because what you're doing every day is what Kenya is doing with its diaspora. You understand that, right? Yes. So when you hear, and I hear this question a lot, usually from the media, from Kenyans, what is the government doing? You guys are government officers. Do you hear that a lot? What is the government doing about? Yeah? So whatever you're doing every day, when you show up, that is what the government is doing about the diaspora. That is what the government is doing about Kazimaju. That is what the diaspora is doing about distress in the Middle East, and so on and so forth. Foreign service is considered the other army, isn't it? Foreign service officers are considered the other army. In defense of national interest, in defense of the nation, you always send the other army first. Yeah? Only if we have failed or things are beyond us, only then does KDF get deployed. So the work that you do is not fancy necessarily, is not just, to fulfill all righteousness, is not busy work. The work that you do of projecting, promoting, and what? And protecting is because you're the other army. We send diplomats first when things are going bad. We send diplomats to keep relationships. We send diplomats before bullets start flying. We send diplomats before people start talking about nuke codes and things like that. We send diplomats when we have border disputes. We send diplomats first. You are the first. You are the other army. But in many ways, you are the first army. There are certain people who must always, always, always watch the things that they say, because the world assumes that you're speaking on behalf of Kenya. Okay? That is a serious responsibility. That is a serious responsibility. I will tell you, for me, it is a very serious responsibility because I edit myself constantly. And I am coming from a very different world. But there's a responsibility that comes with being charged with flying the flag, and you must carry it and discharge it responsibly. You are the first and the other army.